All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Executive Recruiting Network. We are blessed to be here with Pam Cox from Apama Recruiting Solutions. She's been in the business for over 30 years, and Pam has been servicing clients and making wonderful placements for her clients for over 10 years now, over a decade. And we're happy to have her here to share some insight. And any hiring managers, any candidates listen to this, it's going to be a tremendous episode. You're going to get a lot of insight to what it means to be an actual recruiter, what it means to find the right talent. And any business owners that are watching this, listening to this, really pay attention, because the success of your business relies on having the right people. Your business will never flourish and become what it's meant to be if you don't have the right people in there, the engine to service it. So Pam, just really excited to have you on with us. And please just kind of tell us about your company. You know, who do you help and how did you get into it?
Okay. Well, I've been in recruiting, as you mentioned, all my life, but this last company has been for the last 10 years. And my business model is pretty simplistic. And the reason I got back into it is because I absolutely love it. And I've been away from it for a while. And it was something that I could succeed at. And I love being in the mix and understanding how companies tick and that type of thing. So basically, I got back into it, had to learn all of the new things like LinkedIn and all of the technical things that are going on in today's market. And basically, my business model is I don't work with a lot of companies. I work with companies who, I'm not a one placement wonder. I want to truly partner with companies. And so I found really good successes with that, in being able to work very closely with talent acquisition and the hiring managers so that I understand exactly what they're looking for, because time is our enemy, and you're paying me, my companies are paying me to save their time. So if I'm just slapping resumes at them and I don't really truly understand what they're looking for, well, they can do that on their own. What I am doing is actually focusing in on what you're looking for, trying to save your time, and finding the exact candidates for the role that we're trying to fill. So that's basically it. And about the last 9 years, I've worked a lot in medical device and in all levels of medical device, but primarily sales and sales management.
Awesome. Now, why do you like the medical device niche?
You know, I didn't think I would, but I kind of fell into it. And that was about, again, 9 years ago. And I find it so interesting because of all of the innovation in medical and all the challenges in medical device, all of the challenges that these salespeople run up against and trying to build their clientele, and how they have to really understand things like navigating the operating room, navigating the hospital, which is a totally different animal in itself, understanding nursing homes and home health and long-term care facilities and all of that. It requires a real gift, and it's interesting to me to learn about the new technology. So that really keeps me fired up and going. So that's why I really enjoy it, and I like learning every day.
Now, obviously that's going to be tremendously helpful when you understand the industry. You really understand the industry. It's going to help you to find the right people for those companies. What would you say are some of the more difficult parts of recruiting for that industry?
Well, I think there's a couple different things. In some cases, the client companies want a certain level of salesperson, and they want a certain piece of background, like, medical device, operating room experience, proven success in prior companies and all of that. And sometimes they're not willing to pay the base salary. I mean, it used to be that when I first started medical device, who I was working with, it was basically a guarantee and straight commission. Now it's become a deal where there is a base salary and there are commissions. And so I think the challenge sometimes is just finding the level of expertise that my client wants compared to what they're willing to pay. And, a lot of times there's nothing they can do about it, because that's the budget. And I managed to succeed in spite of it. But that's one of the challenges in some cases. And the other is, there's really no other real challenge other than that. Because the people that I'm working with are realistic about who they're looking for. They're not asking me to find like God and pay them $5 an hour or something like that. Most of the time the territories are very manageable. The hiring managers are great to work with. And so really, I don't even have any other challenges other than sometimes the expectation doesn't match up with what they're willing to pay. But that is few and far between.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, what are some things you're out there on the ground for? You're seeing what's going on, helping multiple companies find their right fit, their right person. What are some things that you can recommend to a hiring manager or a company owner to make their offer more attractive? What are things that they can do to help them land those top tier candidates, from their competition?
Well, the first thing is to hire a really good recruiter who can source those out and go to the competition, which is what I do. But anyway, yeah, right. But the other thing is it's really become more and more important to have not just the base salary, but people are looking at the package. So things such as, what is the car allowance? What is the car maintenance? If you don't have a company car, what are you willing to give these people on a monthly car maintenance? And it can vary between, like $350, $400 a month up to $650 or $800 a month. But, that's something that the candidate is really looking at, and that's money in their pocket. The other thing is to have things like a company credit card where they don't have to necessarily put everything on their credit card. The other thing is to offer top tier benefits, health, life, dental, and maybe even rather than paying them a big base salary, pay more of their dependent coverage, pay more of the percentage of whatever they have to pay monthly for the benefits. That's huge. Again, that's money in their pocket. It's not taxed. And they really appreciate it because most of these people have families and they are dependent on having really good benefits. And when you look at what dependent coverage sometimes is, even with a really good company with good benefits, it's really expensive. So I think that's one key thing that people can really zero in on are what are these things around the comp? What is the package that we can offer these people that will really make them feel valued and also really put more money in their pocket?
Yeah. I love what you just said. It doesn't always come down to just the dollar amount. It's what you can build around the entire package that really makes people, the right candidate feels comfortable and make it an offer that, that they can't refuse, right? That irresistible offer. Now, if you can give some advice to the candidates out there, the ones that they're looking for a better opportunity, they want to make themselves more presentable, what would you say to the candidates?
Well, I think the thing, especially in our day and time, job stability hasn't been emphasized as much as it is now. I mean, a lot of people will, stay like 4 months at a company and then pick up and leave if it's, if something's shinier on the other side or like, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 more. But I think the big thing is job stability and to be really aware from the beginning that you start your career, what you're doing and how you're building that career. And also, especially in a sales thing, making sure that you really succeed, prevail, win the awards, hit the quotas and all of that. I mean, when you look back at your background and you're trying to get a new role, the first thing the hiring manager, especially in a sales role, is going to ask is, well, what are your prior successes? Have you made President's Club? How many awards did you get? How many trips did you win? And how did you do that? So and also to have a clear path. If you are in medical device, you should start in medical device or try to get into it. It's very hard to get into if you don't have any experience, but get into it and then stay with it and keep progressing in a very stable way. If you show that you're moving every 1 or 2 years and don't have more than 1 or 2 years in your background, that's kind of a red flag for a hiring manager because they put a lot of time, energy, and effort, regardless of your prior experience. There's training, there's all of the onboarding and all of that kind of stuff. And so they're thinking, oh, great. So this guy is going to be, or girl is going to be successful maybe 6-8 months down the road. Then they leave, like a year later. What's in it for me?
Yeah. And this actually leads into our next topic is stay incentives? Like, have you seen any companies do anything creative to, when they have the right person, what can a business owner do to make sure that person stays and they don't have to go on that hamster wheel of replacing quality people every 6 to 8 months just because someone offered them a few more bucks or a shinier package?
Well, part of it is that, and this is a challenge for people working in the medical device field, especially salespeople, because they work really hard. They establish a territory. They take an underperforming territory and really make it, shine. They've hit it out of the park. They go 250% over quota, and then really keep building it up, and then. One of two things happens, or both. The company splits the territory, so the guy, after all this work, gets half the territory. And the other thing that happens is that they change the quota up, so that it's almost unattainable. So that's one of the key things that really discourages employees in the medical device arena. Is many times the quotas and the territories are very difficult to, you starting out's okay, but it's very difficult to maintain. And so, and to continue to improve. And anyone who's in sales wants to continue making more money. So I think that is a huge piece as far as, how you can keep people. And there's really, in my estimation, there's two kind of companies. There's a people user company and a people builder company. And a people user company is just trying to grind out and, churn through as many people. They don't care. Just, get out there, do the sales and all this kind of stuff. And then we'll pay you as little as we possibly can. And then we have a bigger bottom line. The people builder companies are the people that want to bring people on and really, truly nurture them, support them, pay them fairly, pay them well, and recognize their achievements. A lot of people, I think the main reason they work is not just money, it's recognition, it's consistency, it's, having a good boss, so those are the things that, another thing too, top management is, I think, having an open door or just having a channel so that you can understand what's truly going out in the field. Many times, especially in the larger companies, the people that make a lot of the decisions aren't really tuned into what really is happening on the field, out in the field. What's really happening out in the sales field? Why, you're pushing to get more sales, but why aren't they getting more sales? What's happening? What's going on? Are we being fair? Are we giving them enough support? Are we putting these territories together realistically? Is the comp fair? Is it competitive? That type of thing.
Awesome.
Because when people think they're being listened to,
yeah,
they stay.
Absolutely. They feel like they're being treated fairly and
respected.
Yeah. And everyone wants to feel that they're part of something. If they're part of the company's success and they're rewarded for it, and you make their vision, their goal, part of the company's goal and the company's vision, you'll have an employee that never leaves. Well,
and also can grow within the company too. That's the other thing, is to if you can, provide advancement opportunities.
Absolutely.
Pam,
you've given us so much on this episode. If I'm a hiring manager, I'm involved in medical devices, how do I get in touch with you? How can I get more insight and possibly maybe even work with you? Is there an email that we can reach you out?
Yes. In fact, yes, my email is P as in Pam, COX at A as in Apple, P as in Pam, A as in Apple, M as in Mary, A as in Apple, recruiting, recruiting.com. And the thing I guess I want to leave us all with is that I would love to hear from anybody who wants to discuss this further. And again, I'm going after truly being a part of your company and being a partner to you. And I see things differently because I've always owned my own company. I've hired literally hundreds of salespeople, trained hundreds of salespeople, and managed many, many companies. And in all, because we had a management consulting company. So I bring a different perspective to the table. So anyway, I would love to hear from anybody who's interested.
Awesome. Pam, thank you so much for being on this episode. And guys, truly a pleasure. And you watched to the end. You definitely were in for a treat. And we'll see you on the next episode of the E.R.N. Executive Recruiting Network podcast. Talk to you guys soon.